It's time for Around the Ozarks in 5. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Good morning. It's Tuesday. Good to see you this morning. Glad to be with you again. I missed our time together, but here we are. And it's a rainy day, it looks like. We'll talk more about that coming up. But first, some news.
Here we go. Missouri's Attorney General is issuing an emergency rule to stop experimental gender transition interventions on minors. It does still have to be approved by the Secretary of State's office. It would only allow gender transitions of minors if there is first a full psychological and psychiatric assessment over at least an 18-month period. Also, fact finding to see if there are any mental health comorbidities and a record kept of any adverse effects of the procedures for at least 15 years afterward, among other things. The unemployment rate in the Springfield metro area was up in the month of January. It climbed to 2.4%, up from 1.9% in December. That increase is in step with most other metro areas in the state, which also saw about a 0.5 percentage point increase. Springfield's metro area, by definition, includes Greene, Christian, Dallas, Polk, and Webster counties.
I'm assuming, I don't know this to be true because I don't know that it's adjusted or not, but I'm assuming that it's because December to January, the seasonal jobs, retail jobs are no longer there. So perhaps that's 0.5 point's worth of employment. Hey, tonight is the night to find out about a major road construction project going on in Webster County. The Missouri Department of Transportation will hold a public meeting this afternoon and evening to talk about work on US 60 at routes C and K in Seymour. We were just there not too long ago. The Highway Department planning to replace the intersection there. The meeting is 4:30 to 6 this afternoon and evening at Seymour Middle School in Seymour. Balloons are big business for Dina the Balloon Lady. She's a local entrepreneur. And now for the third year, she will be part of a team of balloon artists making huge balloon displays to benefit charity. She will help build a 10,000 square foot balloon forest, which I kind of like to see. I don't know what that looks like, a 10,000 square foot balloon forest. It features animals, trees, and more, all made from balloons. The Big Balloon Build, as it's called, is happening in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. It's scheduled to be open to the public on March 24th and 26th. So this is happening quickly.
Yeah, that's cool.
Quickly.
Good for her. That'll be fun.
That will be fun. Let's check weather real fast here before we move on. It's going to be a rainy day. There's a very high probability of rain, at least at some point today. High of only 46 or so. So still kind of a raw day, not the best day in the world. Tomorrow is going to be much, much better. 70 degrees for the high, some sunshine out there, which I know we could all use because it's been a while. The cold and rainy stuff have not been great. Strong storms as a cold front comes through on Thursday then. And then maybe Friday morning as well. The temperature is going to drop again. So 57, 62 on Saturday, 68 on Sunday, back to 51 on Monday. So we're ready for spring. It's just the weather's not going along with it.
All right. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, the Wednesday, if we can hit 73, that would be fabulous. So we shall see for tomorrow. All right. Election day is 2 weeks from today. If you can believe that, it's almost time. Plenty of things that voters will decide on, including the school board and city council in Springfield, as well as taxes we told you about for both Christian County and the city of Ozark, who will be deciding whether to add local taxes to recreational marijuana. Also, the Springfield School District wants voters to approve a $220 million bond issue to pay for a new Pipkin and new Reed Middle School and a variety of other things. And again, we mentioned this, starting today, though, is the day that you can go vote absentee without excuse, meaning that it's very similar to early voting. You can do that at your local county clerk's office.
Yeah, it's weird that this is a big election. There's a lot of stuff. I know the argument is that some things target lesser turnout elections to try to get them passed. I don't know if that's true or not, but there's a lot of stuff on this election for an April election. And of course, the city council, some city council seats, and some school board seats, which school board is now a big deal with a lot of folks in the last few years, just given the way, things are going
Yeah.
nationally.
Yeah, I have not talked to the clerk, but my guess is that the April 4th has higher turnout than your typical April election. So
Right.
we
Yeah.
shall see. And I will call him and see what the expectation is as well.
I I would say this. I looked at my sample ballot the other day, and it's involved. So if you can print it out and or just look at it online ahead of time and kind of know what your answers are going to be, you'll save yourself a lot of time. Because if you're trying to figure it out there, the pressure's on. You're taking time, and you don't want to spend
Yeah.
a lot of time there.
Okay. It is prescribed burn season in some of the woods of the Ozarks. And if you were outside at all yesterday evening, really for Springfield, I felt like it was like later in the evening.
Right.
Anywho, there are several controlled burns happening. Most of them are near Rolla in the Mark Twain National Forest, but that's part of a management plan to burn off what could be fuel for wildfires in the national forest. So if you see that smoke or if you saw it last night, now you know why.
Yeah, it's funny. I was at soccer practice with the boy until out by the airport at the new complex there, and it was fine. There was no sign of it, and then we were driving 60 back into Springfield, and man, all of a sudden it seemed like the entire city was on fire because
Yeah.
of all the smoke. It was thick at times.
Yeah, I was down in Ozark and didn't smell it or see it at all in the evening. And then as like, it was getting dark outside, then I walked outside and felt like there was a haze and could smell it. So I don't know. I guess it travels. It's just interesting how it travels like that. So
Yeah, it was thick. All right, this is interesting for a lot of people. They will recognize the name. Famed cat lady Carol Baskin is planning to visit Turpentine Creek Wild Refuge in Eureka Springs to celebrate the refuge's 31st anniversary. Carol Baskin, of course, is famous or infamous, depending on what you believe about her, for her role in the Tiger King series on Netflix that everybody but Sarah watched in 2020. It seems like that was when COVID was happening, and that was everybody saw that like in the same week. It seemed like. There's going to be a special dinner at the refuge where Baskin will speak. That'll be held on April 29th. Interestingly, the man in prison for a plot to kill Carol Baskin, Joe Exotic, also known for the show Tiger King, is running for president. Speaking of elections, he says he knows he's in prison for 21 years for that murder for hire plot, but he says this isn't a joke. He was convicted of giving a person $3,000 to travel from his home state and Sarah's home state of Oklahoma to Florida to kill his arch nemesis, Carol Baskin. He also lost his big cat attraction in Oklahoma as a result. So that whole thing is very strange. It appears to be ongoing. I just read an article yesterday, just coincidentally, about how Carol Baskin says that her ex-husband is alive and well because nobody could find him. There were questions about what had happened to him. So it's a crazy, crazy story. But anyway, Carol Baskin's going to be in Eureka Springs.
yeah, it is wild. And yes, I think I was the only one who didn't see it because I am from Oklahoma. So of course, all of my high school and college friends were talking about it. But
So you
I
you
don't
know a
know.
little bit you know a little bit about it then.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm familiar with the storyline because of them, and I know like where the spot is, like where they were.
Right.
Um,
Right. Did you go there on field trips or too far
no,
away?
no, it's not too far away, but I lived in Fort Gibson, so we went to the fort for field trips.
No.
That was
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. And the
Anyway.
power plant.
And the power plant. Yes, and the power plant. That's right, sir. It's a good one. It's awesome. All right. So now to this. Some more news for you. Eggs, as you know, are expensive and apparently too expensive for Dollar Tree to sell them anymore. They used to sell them for $1.25, but they say they can't do that anymore. So now they are not going to sell them at all. Of course, most stores are able just to charge more, but Dollar Tree, I guess for its namesake, can't just do that.
I think
So they're not
everything in
selling.
there is $1.25 now. I think they did have to raise prices.
Yes.
I think it's $1.25 for
Yeah,
everything.
it did go up because I take the kids in there sometimes. And they actually like it because you can get some good school supplies, which is typically what we're going for. Um, anyway, so there you go. Also, starting today and all this week, there is a festival happening in Springfield. It's an arts festival featuring music, movies, and art with more than 90 performers scheduled in several venues around town, happening now through next Monday. It is called the Queen City Shout Festival.
Yeah, the Queen City Shout Festival. Interesting.
There you go.
A lot of performers. I know that for a long time through next Monday. Well, if you would like for Springfield to look better, get off your hiney and help. That's the opportunity that Clean Green Springfield is offering you and me. There are several opportunities over the next month or so to join your neighbors in planting things, in spreading mulch and other beautification projects around Springfield. I think this is a neat idea. So you can find out more about it, find out where, when, and how you can lend a hand at their website, cleangreensgf.com. So sometimes it's just side of the road beautification where they're putting in mulch, or maybe there's a roundabout that needs some help. They go in and just make it look nicer. So we all benefit from it as we drive around town. So good for the
Yeah.
people doing it, and maybe we'll be part of it.
I have a funny story about that. I can
Yeah.
remember in my first news job, or my first on-air news job, I should say, I pitched a story about this similar program that Sherman, Texas was doing. And my boss flipped out on me and was like, "We don't cover features." Why? I mean, it was just, it got
Crime or
ugly.
nothing.
It got ugly. If it bleeds,
Crime
it
or
leads.
nothing.
That is the truth. And this did not. And so it's funny because whenever I saw that you had selected that story for this newscast, I quickly thought about that conversation and how the wrath of my old boss was like, no,
Well,
we
here's
don't
the
cover
deal.
that.
Here's the deal. These are the kind of things that people want to hear about. They want to hear good news things from time to time and what's going on around the Ozarks. That's why we called it that,
I
right?
don't know. I don't know if you're going to ever be a news director, sir. You can't just let it fly,
I'm pretty sure that I won't. Hey, this is also Ag Week. Ag is in agriculture. That means free food if you're a farmer who feeds the nation, which is super cool. The Turner Station Deli in Turners, Missouri. You ever been to the Turner Station Deli, Sarah?
Of course. Yeah. It's
Okay.
on my bike route. What do you mean?
Do what?
Turner's? Is it Turner's as in like off of Highway D on Sunshine?
Yeah. Well, Turners, Missouri, the city of
Yeah.
Turners. Okay.
I mean, I think that they might be like incorporated or whatever. Am I on the right track here?
I don't know.
I'm Googling it.
Have you been? I was talking about the Turner Station Deli. Have you been there?
I've not been to the deli, no.
Okay. Anyway, we tried to have a garden last year. I wonder if that counts. At any rate, probably not.
It for
You have to be
sure
a-
doesn't. It for sure
you have
doesn't.
to you have to be a successful farmer that actually helps people, and that ain't us. At any rate, we digress. The Turner Station Deli in Turners, Missouri, offering a free meal to farmers who stop in sometime this week. It's a way for them to say thank you to the men and women who feed us all, which is so cool. The deli will comp a meal for any farmer who visits and tells them that you farm for a living.
Yes.
Just as a way to say thank you to farmers. We think that's a fantastic thing. And of course, we are incredibly thankful to farmers because we know that we can't grow it ourselves. We
Right.
could if we had to, but there'd be a steep learning curve and we might starve to death before that.
Or we could just go to our neighbor's garden. That would also work because our neighbors on both sides of us have amazing gardens, and then there's mine. So
Yeah.
clearly I'm the problem because they have the same weather as we do. There are
Yeah,
literal
and
neighbors.
yeah. We're surrounded by good gardeners, which is good. We want to
It's a good place to be. It's a good place to be.
have good
So
neighbors.
yeah, Turner's is on my bike route, but I have not been to the deli. So I will need to stop by. And
If
maybe
it all,
learn a
if
thing or two.
yeah, yeah. And if it all goes down in the future, at some point, which it probably will, we can read the news to our neighbors while they're giving us food. That's a
Is that
fair
the
trade.
only skill set we have to bring to
That's
the table?
pretty much it.
That's pretty
Pretty
much it.
much
We
all
can
we
talk.
can
We can talk.
all we can
Does
help with.
anybody need us to talk?
We'll
And
do their very
sometimes we
own
can't do that.
podcast in their kitchen as they're feeding us.
All right. Well, hey, we also have neighbors who do surgery apparently on their kitchen table because while you were gone,
Yes,
Griffin
I
cut
saw
his
that.
eye, and then I sent you the picture of him literally lying on the countertop of our neighbor as they were super gluing his eye back together. So
Yeah, that was something. Everybody noticed the KitchenAid.
yeah, the KitchenAid mixer. Well, Susan was trying to keep her balance. Back it up a little bit. There it is. She was trying to keep her balance. She was leaning on it so she could like hold while Chuck was putting the glue on.
Yeah, it doesn't look very good, but that
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
KitchenAid right there.
Anyway, it was just funny. So, yep, they're
Gotta
pretty
get better at
great.
working this camera.
And then we have another neighbor who fished Griffin out of the woods whenever he stepped on the nail. So, we're staying put. We're not moving. This is
That's
where we
his
will be.
eye. Can you see his eye? That's a
Yes.
cut over his eye, and his eye is closed.
Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah, it's a pretty deep gash, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, until Chuck closed it down.
Yeah, well, that's great. Good neighbors are
So
great to have.
it's true. So yeah, when the world goes to hell in a handbasket, we should be all set.
Well, we're on our way. Thank you for watching today. We appreciate it, and we hope you have a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow.